My last video was partially about a possible origin of death or killers or vampires or war. And I'm thinking of Azazel, who gave mankind metal and they made swords. So when they used the swords for not good purposes, they all blamed Azazel. Azazel was a scapegoat. God was like, why did you give these stupid humans, whatever they were then, the means to do this? But it's pretty much, I mean, you can say the same about the written language. Whoever taught them how to write lies. You didn't teach them to write lies, you taught them to write. Then they wrote lies. So then, why did you teach them to write? Look what they do. They lie. I'm keen on saying nobody wants to take responsibility for anything. I used to say that a lot. So, I'm preparing for because it's the right thing to do, to take responsibility for what I remember. As much as I remember it, as much as I understand. So I just saw this post here about just a reminder. This is what Democrats voted for. Repubtards do nothing. You go to jail if you try to stop it. You're racist if you even talk about it. If you can take a screenshot there and look at those eyes. And on this video, without WROL rules, what to do in societal collapse, he mentions the migrant community, nothing fancy, NUTNFANCY. And how if you go into their community, the migrant community, the Arab community, any community, any closed or special community or refugee, illegal immigrant community in America, or even black neighborhoods or Hispanic neighborhoods, basically, it's whose society collapses. But these other communities, besides the white Judeo-Christian communities, they're already ready. They already you already can't go there. American History X, this concept of you can't go there if you're white because you'll get beaten, or training day where the black cop says, you come back here again, I'll have those Ingers run a train on your girlfriend. Or the movie, I forgot, I mentioned it a bunch of times, where the white woman goes into neighborhood and they say, what are you doing here, you white bitch? Don't you guys ever learn? And then they're proceeding to rape her when they're stopped by a dude. And the dude and the chick both end up dying because they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, which is the non-white community, isn't it? Yeah, it is. They use her as a human shield at one point. So I am absolutely as close to Enlil, or am Enlil, the terrible Anunnaki. Nobody on Earth could be more like Enlil than I am. And yes, Enki, the Yankee side of things is much nicer. Like he's not a horn dog like Zeus. Of course he is. What do the gods do? They create and they destroy. That's what we do. And yeah, I give thought to the one above. Just had some photo memories from today, a year and 2 years ago, which are pretty profound in what's above. I know what's above. I forget. And I know what's below. Sometimes I forget. So I struggle with myself the more I remember myself. At some point, though, it's like if I'm feeling bad about the past, and then so are the goddesses who were involved, or hopefully they're not feeling bad, you know, and they're like ready because they know what is going on, the plan. Yeah. So I don't know how to be proud. Maybe I should be, I don't know. The recruit believes that regardless of his answer, he will be beaten. You remember that line from Full Metal Jacket, I think? Yeah, that's how it is with me and my lady friends. And if I said they're not the most finely oiled, tuned machines in the world, I would be totally lying. Because they are. Absolutely. Beautiful and brilliant. Smart. Natural. Dark. Light. Not always agreeing, but not always disagreeing either. Maybe never disagreeing. An opinion is just an opinion to nature. Right? To an extent. Yeah, there are lines that you cross and you don't come back. in every direction, 1,000 directions. I know there's nowhere for me to go back to, not backwards, though I do go traveling. I prefer when they travel to me, and I appreciate that. I appreciate them. I appreciate you. So the years and many hours spent on understanding good and evil and right and wrong and warfare throughout history. Warfare and war in our times. And in the future as well, hopefully. With a warning in there about World War IV. You want to see what World War IV is likely to look like? Yeah, very likely. Go watch Alexander the Great. That's your World War IV. And the amazing thing is, the earth or the people in government, they do this on purpose. Like over and over again, the Arabs invade Europe, now America as well, to an extent. All these invasion forces. And then the fight back begins. And in Palestine, they say to the Israelites, we love death as much as you love life. Yet, year after year, decade after decade goes by, and the Palestinians are still there. It would take days or weeks to end every life in that quadrant, in that region. Wouldn't even be difficult. Well, it doesn't happen. Yeah, the horror. The horror of the Middle East sitting on rocks and sand. Which have fallen into the earth how many times? Right into the earth. The ground rises up. Most of it stays below. It goes up, it goes down, the sand comes down on top. But some always survive. Empires may have risen and fallen. How about these cities under the sea? How do they sink to the bottom? When I went through the firmament, did my feet let the water in that's supposed to be out there? Did the water rise? Did me going back to see her? Was it necessary to flood the earth? trying to understand the 80 or so chicks that in the last year have been like, send me a $50 credit card for gas, plane ticket, whatever, and I'll do this, that, or whatever. And I think to myself, you must know I don't have money and that there's no travel between states, so why the charade? Just to give me a hard time? Because I'm ungrateful or bored, or I don't know. I try to be grateful. I am grateful. But then I'm like, what are these, like, demons that are like trying to trick me, you know? Really, they want something from me, but they acting like I should pay them, right? One of them yesterday looked like Cassandra when she was skinny, emaciated, but pregnant. And I told her, just drink. Just drink my blood. Just fucking drink. I don't like to see people suffering. And I truly don't want anything from her, at least not yet. Hasn't even crossed my mind until now. I don't want to insult her and act like she has nothing to offer. Especially if they're my demons, they're mine. My responsibility, aren't they? How could I say they're not? She just bit me. At least she knows I'm trying to understand. Maybe she's trying to understand too. Yes, more. We always want more. More love, more sex, more reasons, more ways. It's good. We are good. We're good as when we're getting better. How's that? Some, at least one, remembers. Two, at least two of the women remember. All the entities around me, which we could go further to say UFOs and angels and goddesses, but fewer might know about, like, Jessica Lane Chambers, who was lit on fire by the Black Squad, some gang in her area. Blonde, beautiful blonde girl. Our society has no defense mechanisms against race. So the Black Squad was able to burn a blonde girl alive and get away with it for a long time. which is a reminder of why I say and do and teach what I've said, done, and taught. People think, oh, spirits just go to wherever I think they do, or souls, well, they just don't exist and whatever. In my world, they do. In my world, they're very real. My world. Isn't my world your world? I'd like to think this is one world, kinda. But if I know I answer the calls, then they know they can call. It's a mystery and a riddle, an enigma. It is we, the world, the world's world. So that's all. I don't know how to move us to a different world. I don't know if there is one. So we're outnumbered and surrounded. So if we do what I say, we're gonna get through this just fine. A lot of people won't, and that's okay. Because we're doing our job, we're answering the call. Fortunately, it's been on the on that front, it's been quiet. Unfortunately, on the other front, it's been busy. So, yep, yep, yep. That's all.